This time the Quick Speed Shop, I got my dragster on my homemade trailer. How's it working? Let me tell you one word, fail. Hey guys, welcome back to the Quick Speed Shop. I'm Josh. This is a real short video, update video, and it's a bummer. Here we go. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Dragster trailer, here we go. I've been working on this thing off camera right here in between after Power Tour. And I worked on it, got back from Power Tour, immediately started working on it. Worked on it for a day and a half. Got it kind of painted. The deck board's kind of, for the tires, kind of screwed on. And I'm supposed to be in Buffalo at the cruise, the open wheel cruise. I was going to take the dragster there and fire it up for people and stuff. It'd be super awesome. And then really why I built this trailer so I could take this thing to Syracuse. And luckily this happened because, I'll show you. So I load it up and it goes way down. Folds the shackles right over because I must have had too much forward inclination when I made the rear mount, which I had them leaned ahead a little bit, I guess too far, and it collapsed the spring, the shackles right over. So now it's sitting on the axle, completely collapsed, which in theory I could run it. In theory I could tow it like that with the, just bounce on the tires. But the bigger problem is with that is it's too low in the back now. And this is the first time I've had this thing on the trailer. I'm kind of built it off measurements-ish. And apparently the center of the gravity, which I didn't have any way to tell, must be like back here. I thought it would have been like under the engine, so that's why I moved the axle where I did, so there'd be a little bit of tongue weight. But apparently the center of all the weight with the rear end and stuff is back here. So it's behind the axle. They picked the back of my truck up, which means it's going to tow squirrely. That's the problem with single axle trailers. If there's not enough tongue weight, well, actually any trailer, but if there's not enough tongue weight, the thing will start wagging around. And the way the thing's squatted like this, with the shackles and that weight, I can tell it's going to have too much tail weight. I just kind of like bougily put some aftermarket brake lights on this. I don't even have the side marker lights hooked up yet. I jammed two of them in there. I'm like half wired. I got tail lights and brake lights working. Hung the plate on it. I have some fenders to put on it. Luckily I didn't mount those because the tires would have hit them. Check out this cool detail down here though. Quick Speed Shop. My friend Jordan, we cut that out, welded it up in there, and when I put the center light in the back, I can make like a little light box and backlight that so it says Quick Speed Shop lit up in the nighttime. But this thing is just too low like this. Big bummer. See another issue here. I need to trim where I stepped the frame in. It clears in between the tires, but I didn't. This tire's touching it. I need to angle that down to build more of a pocket. The tire is going to stop right at the wood there, and in the front of the wood here, it just kind of sits on this. I kind of wanted the tires up touching here, but the way the rear is set up, it's not going to do that. So other than that, I thought it was going to work out all right, but the driver's side axle, the driver's side of the axle is bent. I put a straight edge on it. The wheel is bent and leaned out, like cambered out on top quite a bit, like a quarter of an inch, which is a lot. And that trailer axle I got out of a wrecked camper in the junkyard, so that's probably why it's bent, because the trailer was hit and it must have bent that axle. So I got to go back to the drawing board. I definitely got to move the axle rearward, probably a foot, I'm going to say, to get the center of gravity back more. So bottom line is, it's not going to work. Thank God I found this out. I've got like a month to go to Syracuse Nationals, when I definitely want to take this rig there and stuff like that. So luckily it happened now, and I'm able to think about it and fix it. It's a big bummer. Sometimes you win some, sometimes you lose some, but I was going to tow this thing an hour and a half away. I can't tow it with the suspension collapsed like that right on the frame, and the tongue weight would be dangerous, especially without brakes on the truck, or without brakes on the trailer, I should say. I need the truck's got decent brakes, but I can't be having it pick the back end of the truck up like it is now. So back to the drawing board. Sometimes you win some, sometimes you lose some, I guess. I thought I could engineer that, and I failed. It's a fail. YouTube fail. All right, so I couldn't just leave it alone after the disgust of not being able to go where I wanted to go with my trailer. I brought it in, I cut the axle out of it, and I moved it back 8 inches. I bought another shackle kit from Tractor Supply Company. I relocated the axle 8 inches to the rear, and I went on the online in the interwebs, and I read how to set up trailer shackles. I got them about 8-10 degrees. I went half inch shorter than the length of the springs, and when you stand on here, it does kick back a little bit. And when I put the dragster on, it'll kick it back probably like 45 degrees. So I've just got everything tacked together. I'm going to go, before I finish weld it, I'm going to go out and put the dragster back on here, make sure it's not going to collapse again, and then see how it works out. But I have, my taillight mounts are still going to work with the fenders I have. The fenders are going to come right down, right by the taillights, so they'll kind of protect them a little bit and tie it together. I just got some half moon sheet metal fenders from the trailer company. And yeah. Oh, I also straightened out the axle. I might not agree with what I did, but I did it. This was bent out, cambered out a lot. So I went and I sliced the top of the axle tube about 3/4 of the way down. And I went, kirk. Or first I ground like a V, and I grounded out the top so I could close up the gap. And I went, straighten it back out. Did like a root pass and a cover pass with the MIG. And I think it'll be good since I didn't cut it all the way off. Just cut 3/4 of the way through. But I straightened the wheel out. It was all leaned out. Now it's leaned in. It matches the other side. So fix that. So now won't wear out my expensive brand new tires. I didn't expect the suspension to cycle as much as it did, but I think it might have gone down so far because when the shackles went over center and like collapsed the leaf springs right to the frame, I think now it should just go, like an inch or so and not go past center and collapse. So it should be okay. It shouldn't bottom out. Like I said, these are 1,750 pound springs, which you add them up and makes 3,500 pounds. And that dragster can't weigh 35. The dragster and the trailer can't weigh 3,500. I bet altogether it's like 25. So it should be okay. My tires are E-rated. They're rated to, whatever, more than 3,500. So in theory, this should work how it's supposed to work. I just had the shackles wrong and the center of gravity, because since I hadn't put the thing on, we should be all set now. The axle's back as far as it can go back. What I do need to do is here, my slick hits this, the slick comes up and touches the boards here, but the edge of it rolls over. I got to notch this. I'm going to take and notch back into here and take this and put it down, notch it for the tire, because actually you can see on the other side, the slick rubbed, and I don't want to ruin the slicks. See here where it rolled up on the paint, took the paint off of there, so I'm going to notch this back in like that, and notch that out of the way. But it should be good. Then button up the wiring. I got this terminal block so I can make all my connections with a terminal block here. And I'll zip tie that up better. And then I've just got the rear wires just kind of hanging along because I was trying to, in a hurry, get the lights on. But I think we're going to be okay now. Things got like about 3 inches of suspension trail before it bottoms out. And I think it's going to work out now. So maybe crisis averted. I don't know. It's going to be another few days before I can get back to getting the dragster back on it and trying it out. But I think I fixed all the problems. So that's it for now. Crisis averted? Maybe. I'll let you know in the future. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Hopefully solving all my issues here. Bam. At the Quick Speed Shop.